I always wanted to do a radio show. When I was a kid in high school, at a time in my life, I lived in Smith Falls, north of Kingston here, and an opportunity came up, a local record store. The guy, Perry, who ran it, gave me a chance to access his vinyl library at the time, and he gave me a couple of turntables, reel-to-reel, and free reign of his record collection in the store to produce a show that was aired in the Smith Falls District Collegiate Institute High School that I was a student at the time. And I loved doing it. It was a hobby, and I never got around to doing it again, so I'm kind of reliving my childhood by doing this show. I get to be really immature for once a week, and I like that.
Our mountains. But it was that beautiful cut of clouds I could always see above the little SP alley.
I call the show the Limestone City Delta Blues Show, and probably meant a bit to echo the blues festival that's held at the end of the summer. Kingston is called the Limestone City, and it's kind of Delta North in a sense. I'm doing music that comes really out of the Mississippi area, but it's got the Canadian northern twist to it. So Limestone City Delta Blues Show, although I think I veer often from real Delta influences, and purists out there would say I'm veered way off. But I also like a lot of rock.
CFRC is the longest running campus-based broadcaster in the world. So we started taking over the airwaves in 1922, which is years before the CBC even existed, or many communities across Canada had a station at all. In fact, for many decades, CFRC was Kingston's only radio station. Today, we still serve an important purpose to our community because we're the only campus community station, meaning we're the only community access radio broadcaster. So I would say CFRC has a pretty significant role here in Kingston.
We're being filmed now, right now, live for Cogeco TV. Curtis Brunet is here in the studio, and a camera is pointed right at me. It feels a little strange. I feel like I'm at the dentist's office or something right now.
I'm a psychotherapist in downtown Kingston. My office is not that far from here, so I can generally scoot over here in about 10 minutes. Job is highly stressful. Music is a healer of stress, and it's a healer for me too. It's a way of getting through until I'm past hump day for the week. That's the way it's worked out for me.
Or the Gate of Marin to the north, or San Jose south. The clarity of Cal.
So CFRC is made up of about 4 core paid staff and 200 volunteers. We recruit and train approximately 125 new volunteers each year through 3 different orientation and training cycles that take place in the fall, spring, and summer.
There's a process of going in, being interviewed, taking a series, it lasts about a week. Every evening you have to come in, and then you have to do such things as shadow another radio program for a while. And then you have to produce a demo of your own show, and then a committee of 3 decides whether to include your show based on that demo.
Now for something completely different than that, we're switching to going back into the early recordings of beat generation poet, musician, philosopher, Buddhist, Jack Kerouac, and we're going to cover a few.
I'm interested in the idea of beat, blues, and Buddhist, the 3 B's in a sense, and pulling them in together. I think there's some kind of commonality. I'm not sure how to identify it. I'm involved with a group called Shambhala that teaches meditation Wednesday nights, and there's meetings Sunday morning, and I'm involved with that too. And it's a part of an effort, I think, to get communities to connect and to deal with stress and to learn something about the world is lacking a moral compass right now, and it's to learn something about the code and what they call a way of the warrior. And I think there's something to that for the modern world. And I think the blues tradition, in different ways, the fact that the blues is a healing art connects in with that in different ways. I'm kind of exploring that in my head. And while I'm sort of doing this and just drawing together how things, I think, connect in various ways, and maybe just personal connections or I think more general connections in the culture.
And bent to it again.
why do you come up here, you know, week after week, year after year now? Like, what motivates you? Why are you doing this?
It gives me an excuse to play a bunch of records. You know, I love listening to music all the time. I walk around the street with a headset on. In my spare time, between appointments, going here and there, driving in the car. I'm still the old generation. I play CDs. I have a Sony Walkman that I love, and I don't want to go with the iPods yet. I get a chance to listen intensively to any artist, from, say, Bob Dylan to Lynyrd Skynyrd to John Lee Hooker, and to really go into it and explore a lot of their music. And it's a lot of fun. And then I have a product to show for it when I do a show each week. Otherwise, I'd just be spinning circles in my head, wouldn't I?
You hear his great vibrant voice on the Sunday afternoon sidewalk full of sexual vibrato, saying, why, yes, man, but the gospel do say that man was born of woman's womb. No, and so, by that time I come crawling out of my warm sack and hit the street, and I see the rail...